guys, how y'all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm starting talking a little bit soft, but people in my house are trying to sleep, but I thought I would come up here live real quickly at 12:20 a.m. to do my live review of this past week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Again, I apologize for now. Things are going to be a little bit crazy because of some stuff that's been going on personally. Well, nothing bad for me personally, but just family emergency over the weekend, as I said, and obviously we're living a day-to-day life right now because of what the current family member is going through right now. So as I keep saying, guys, continue to keep my family in your prayers for sure as we go through what we were going through right now. But I'm here briefly to discuss Raw, the March 9th, 2020 episode of Raw that took place in Washington, D.C. Next Monday on Raw 316, I will be in attendance live. So I'll make sure to try to take a picture and hopefully share the picture of my seats on my Twitter or even on in the stream next week. We'll see what happens for sure as I attend Raw next week. But overall, this week's episode of Raw, again, I said when I first came back with my Raw stream last week, Raw for a while was actually pretty watchable. There was stuff that was interesting me. There was, I thought a lot of things felt like it meant something to me. And then the past couple weeks, it's kind of gotten weird, where it's like there's stuff I feel that's really good, but there's stuff I feel that's either really bad. And most of the stuff that I feel is bad is the stuff that I feel has been very, very repetitive. And some of the stuff is good, like stuff with like Garza, Andrade, um, Carrillo, and Ray. I thought had been good, but we're starting to get that's all they face. They just face those people. Of course, the 24/7 championships going downhill. Um, Stuff with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins is getting super duper repetitive. So I just don't think Raw has been as consistent. Like the past couple shows have been has some stuff that's good, but also some stuff to me that's been really flat and just not really turning some heads right now, in my opinion. As we are again, we have no more pay-per-views left till WrestleMania, so obviously we're now at the clear straight shot to WrestleMania 36, taking place in Tampa Bay, Florida, on April 5th, 2020. So, we'll get started with the show and talk about it real quick because it's 12:20 in the morning and I want to get to bed, but I want to go up here and catch up here. And I promise, guys, at some point I will finish those turn alerts again. I have 8 more turn alerts to do. Should have been caught up, by the end of last week, but again, stuff has happened. So, as I keep saying, guys, just keep my family in my prayers right now, as I keep saying. Anyway, so let's talk about this week's episode of Raw. What's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining me live on this quick stream tonight. It also says the 24/7 championship is supposed to be funny. And unfortunately, it is not anymore because half the time it was only defend actuals and singles matches. Nobody is chasing after it anymore, unfortunately. Which kind of, makes it stupid. But I always thought the title was stupid, not the way it was at the beginning. It says it's a bunch of low-carb buffoons running after each other like idiots. But anyways, let's talk about the show real quick. The show opens up with Becky Lynch coming out, joking over because she finally knows who her WrestleMania opponent's going to be. And it is who she wanted to be, the cage fighter, Shayna Baszler, who dominated in the Elimination Chamber match on Sunday, even though I did hate the parts where it's like, she was the only one in there, and I'm just like, okay, why are we waiting? Just send someone else in there. I thought that was a little bit dumb. Becky talked about how Shayna took out Asuka, a woman she personally spent years getting over, puts over her accolades in both MMA and pro wrestling. She calls her a world-class scumbag and a black hole of charisma. She might be a bitch, but she's a bitch that runs this division. Even though, once again, she's done the best she could, but she, unfortunately, with the lack of depth in the women's division, she really hasn't had the most standout stuff. But again, can't blame her. That's WWE's fault for not building up their stars well enough. Shayna refused to shake her hand last week. She clearly sees now that she's the biggest threat to come her way since she took the title off of Ronda's broken hand last year. Even though, once again, the finish was botched, but, still a great moment. Baszler's not here to fight for a title. She's been hiding in the shadows for years, waiting to rewrite history because people like Becky don't beat world-class killers like her. But she's got news for her. Shayna has been underestimating her, and she's going to smash her face in for it. Which is all we saw from Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler tonight. We didn't actually see Shayna at all tonight, but we're officially having the match again. I was worried again. And also, by the way, again, I did not get to eliminate to review Elimination Chamber on Sunday, but that will come when I do catch up with my pay-per-view reviews. I will do a review for Elimination Chamber, just not right now. But I did watch Elimination Chamber. I thought the show was good. Second half, though, kind of fell a little flat for me. But, of course, talk about that when that happens. I was a little concerned they weren't going to give Shayna the win on Sunday because I heard that Vince was not too impressed with her in her match with Kairi Sane last week, which I can kind of see why. I mean, yes, it was a slow-moving match, but it did its job. But I guess Vince apparently wasn't too impressed with her, so at least you get the match that you should be in at WrestleMania for sure. Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler. Then Angel Garza and Rey Mysterio had a match, and it's been a pretty solid match, and Rey Mysterio came across with the win. Again, it's just starting to get dragged on a little bit, but I still think these Lucha Libre guys have definitely put on good matches. Like, Andrade and Carrillo weren't really hitting it off for me, but this past Sunday on at Elimination Chamber, they had a great U.S. title match, I thought, and Andrade came away with the win, but holding on to the tights. But I thought it was a pretty good match between these two. Those two, and even Rey and Garza, I thought had a great match as well. But obviously, it is starting to run its course a little bit with these four Lucha Libre guys feuding with each other. But I think it's going to lead to a pretty good Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania. Hopefully, a ladder match for U.S. title. Have to wait and see, because obviously, Andrade won't be able to win by rolling up somebody's tights, but we'll see what happens. We didn't have get footage of Kevin Owens running into Seth Rollins' cronies. Stained Glass Rollins and his cronies, and then Rollins trying to mock Owens for eating popcorn as he did during their match on Sunday, which I thought was weird. But then they basically just brawled and they took out Kevin Owens. We wouldn't see him again until later on tonight. We had a segment with Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Charlotte came out first, asking if we just saw that package, and calls Rhea the next big thing, and says it had her all fired up, but she's confused. Rhea says in order to be the best, you have to beat the best, but Ripley doesn't want to be anything like her because she wants to be herself. She's going to make one point. Rhea cannot be her, never will be, and there is only one her. She can't just, be all shiny and enjoy all the hype because it's not going to last. She's here to remind us all she'll be fighting for the NXT Championship, and that's to teach Rhea Ripley a lesson. It's one thing to stand in an empty stadium and talk about your hopes and dreams, but it's another to stand in front of 90,000 people and be humbled by the Queen. Rhea comes out and tries to explain something, but Flair cuts her off and says we've heard enough during the video package, and this isn't NXT, it's Monday Night Raw. This is her kingdom. So Ripley is excused before she hauls off a punch, which kind of looked weird because like Charlotte basically punched it, got punched in the face and nose sold into set. They're like, I just thought it was a little bit weird for not selling it, but just a nice little promo to hype up a match that I'm definitely looking forward to. I definitely hope Rhea and Charlotte tear it up as I've been hoping they were meant to do so, as that definitely is a huge dream match of mine, for sure when it happens. Let me see here. Tyler says that jobber is supposed to be defend under the 24/7 rule anytime, anywhere, any place, as long as the referee is there, which again hasn't really done that since the title got taken off of R-Truth and got on the Mojo Rawley and Riddick Moss. And he also thinks Shayna is not ready. Well, that's your opinion. Totally fine, man. I get concerned as well. She had one really good match on the main roster again, which was the Elimination Chamber match, even though alone that was not one of the best chamber matches, but I thought she dominated and looked good in it. But we'll have to wait and see. We then are informed that Lana is out filming a movie, and Bobby Lashley then squashes Zack Ryder. That's all I can say. Then we have this. It actually hyped up what could have been a really good main event. Aleister Black is in his room cutting a promo about when we hear a knock, and Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy knocks, and then he's like, what can I do for you? Rollins says it's nice to formally meet him, and he's come out with the proposition. Black has had an issue with the numbers game, but he's an expert at it, and the bottom line is he wants Aleister Black on his side, and perhaps he considered joining the movement. Buddy throws him a shirt, but Black refuses it. Seth says he wasn't clear enough, so he'll say it plain. Either you're with him or you're against him. And that sets up for a match later on tonight. Aleister Black and Seth Rollins in a match that's WrestleMania worthy. Absolutely. I was all game for it. Unfortunately, it did not happen. We'll get to that in a little bit. Drew McIntyre took on Eric Rowan. All I can say about this match is it was good to put over Drew McIntyre, but during the match, he took the steel steps and smashed into that cage that had the robotic spider we saw last week with that big reveal showing that this was all a freaking waste of time, and it basically is ending Eric Rowan's push. So, Drew McIntyre beats Eric Rowan, kills the spider, and that whole cage crap is done. Eric Rowan beat Roman Reigns just for this. Keep that in mind. Eric Rowan has a victory over Roman Reigns just for this to happen to him. Way to go, WWE. We then have the Kabuki Warriors take on Liv Morgan and Natalya. Weird match. All I remember this match is that Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan randomly came out and started brawling with each other, and then Liv just randomly got involved, but it set up Natalya to lose to Asuka and Kairi Sane like she's nothing. So, anything else? Don't really know. Now we have this weird segment. We have AJ Styles and the rest of the OC come out. AJ says not once but twice Taker has stuck his nose where it doesn't belong, and he's taken moments away from him. He stole a beautiful trophy from him at Super Showdown, which would have done nothing for AJ's career anyways. He's taken moments, and then last night he cost him a match against Aleister Black. 3 years ago at WrestleMania, The Undertaker got beat by Roman Reigns. After the match, he folded his jacket, took his gloves and hat off, and laid them nice and neat in the middle of the ring. Halfway up the aisle, he threw up his fist as if we were walking into the sunset. And truthfully, Styles thinks he should have done that when Brock Lesnar beat him, which all of us thought that for sure. But it was a beautiful, powerful moment, and Taker ruined it. Was it his ego, the spotlight? Wherever it is, it's gone. It's going to cost him because AJ wants him at Mania. He may have been very weary about calling him out 10 to 15 years ago, but he doesn't see the monster anymore. He just sees an old man named Mark Calloway who should have retired 10 years ago. Once again, what a lot of people think, in his prime. He doesn't know what keeps him coming back, but he's got a pretty good idea. His wife, Michelle McCool. Styles hopes she's watching because he's about to let the cat out of the bag. They're married, and she plays him like a fiddle. Anything she wants, she gets, and she's the most conniving person AJ's met in his entire life. How about some advice for the dead man? Your wife is going to run you into the ground, and Styles is going to help her. So make sure he dies in the ring at Mania. Or, he rephrase, he's going to take Taker's soul at Mania. He's going to do exactly what Michelle wants to do. He's challenging Taker to a one-on-one match. Come on, what do you have to lose? You've already lost your dignity, your pride, your mystique. You're just a broken down old man. Boo, cheer, yell. Here's the truth. People don't give a damn about Taker, so accept the challenge, and he promises he'll literally put the nail in the coffin. Yeah, and Taker's going to be back yet again next year. I don't know, guys. I mean, do you want to see Styles and Taker? Do you want to see Taker any more wrestle again? I just don't. It sounds great on paper, but, does Taker really have it anymore? Let's be real. He can't. I mean, the moment I felt like I personally, lost hope in Taker putting on a good match. I mean, he's put on a couple good matches. He was involved in that tag match with Roman against Shane and Drew at Extreme Rules. It was dumb to do in the first place because there was no story behind them. There was two teaming up. But, I thought it was a solid match. And most of his matches have been nothing but squash matches since WrestleMania 33. And, really, he hasn't really had any good matches since his match with Punk at WrestleMania 29. And then to me, especially after the Super Showdown match against Triple H, to me it just showed that Undertaker is not durable anymore. So, not sure I'm really expecting much out of this feud. So, we'll have to wait and see. We're having the contract signed between these two next week for their match at Mania. So, whatever, we'll see what happens. Then we have, first we have Randy Orton getting ready to be interviewed in the boiler room because he's waiting for Edge to arrive because they had to just advertise instead of just surprise us that Edge came back this week. But of course, they have to advertise because they know they won't get any viewers because they know the show sucks, so they have to advertise and give away the surprises. But basically, Randy Orton just didn't say anything to Charlie Caruso when asking for a question. Riddick Moss squashed another top star in Cedric Alexander for the 24/7 title, and again, there was nobody trying to take the title off of Riddick Moss. I don't get it. What's so good about Rick Moss? Seriously, what is so good about Rick Moss? He's being Ricochet and Cedric Alexander clean. I find it dumb, and I'm not a fan of it. This was good, of course, though. We have MVP come out. Runs down DC, says at this point in his career, he's no longer an in-ring competitor, but he's not an absolute brainiac putting together a stable of talent. He let's start with a guy like Edge, who thinks he's the man to bring him back to the gold. And then we see Edge rolling up at the loading bay. He gets out of his vehicle, and he just makes his way to the arena, gets on the microphone, and immediately calls out Randy Orton. Just psychotic and just screaming for Orton to come after all what he did to him and what he did to his wife last week on Raw. MVP says his problem is he's focused on the wrong things and he's mentally off. And then he says, oh, by the way, how's your wife? In which Edge snaps and spears MVP. Orton comes out of the blue and attacks Edge, but Edge gets the better of him and hits him with an RKO on top of the microphone. Edge goes for the chair before Orton then, runs away, and then just watches Edge as he then takes all of his frustrations on MVP. He then puts MVP in a head and arm triangle as Edge just stares down Orton wild-eyed. He then MVP then falls to the ground, clutching his throat, but then Edge picks him up and hits another RKO on a steel chair. He then sets him up, and then he hits MVP with 2 concertos as Orton watches. Bold, great return for Edge, which was a surprise, but obviously he came back with a vengeance, and he's coming for Randy Orton. Of course, sad part was that was the best part of the show, and yet, there's a lot of people who are here full time that can't really knock our socks off right now because Vince just gives them horrible booking. That's what we got there. Then we have some video package for Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre with Heyman talking about how dominant Brock has been and finishing up Drew, talking about his plans to become champion. Edge informed that Randy Orton left the arena and he's, pissed because he wanted to get his hands on Orton still. And then was our main event. It was supposed to be Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. Again, that's a WrestleMania worthy match, right? Started off pretty good, but then Buddy Murphy got involved for no reason as him and the Authors of Pain were at ringside and caused DQ. There was still about a half hour left in the show, so of course out came the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits, and what it's set for? Yet another 8-man tag match of these guys, and I did not give a crap. Stained Glass Rollins and his group of cronies wanted the match, but afterwards Kevin Owens tried to get back in, attack Rollins, but he got taken down as well. Same thing. Again, I think Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens can put on a solid match at WrestleMania, but listen, you've been trying to get there for the longest time, and this feud is just dragging on. What's the story? How were we able to keep this going with, and then having all these 6 or 8-man tag matches every single week that were the same people, the same crap happening all the time? It's just old and it's boring, and to me it just hinders the show, because if you keep doing the same thing, no one's going to care anymore. It's unfortunate, but that's just the truth. But that was Raw, guys. Again, very quick review. Again, if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a C-. Great inconsistent show, I thought. They showed way for a year of 3 and 5. That was the worst chamber match than the ECW 2006 chamber. Should rather have Charlotte and Becky at Mania 36. Not really a fan of that, but whatever you want. This is a must-win for AJ. I agree. I think AJ should beat Taker, but I don't think he will beat the Taker. AJ needs to get rid of the OC, for sure. Miss R-Truth is still 24/7 champion, and Bobby Lashley is the most confused man on earth. Bobby Lashley, to me, is a delusional man for sure, letting Lana just, wear the pants in the relationship, basically just doing whatever Lana says. But once again, why are these two in love? Or in the fact that I'm sure Rusev thinks Lana is sexy as hell, and, just that crap fest that happens. But guys, that's going to do it for this review of Raw. Again, C-. Again, no reviews tomorrow probably because I'll be out for trivia, and then hopefully if things are still, maintain themselves. Thursday, I'll at least do AEW Dynamite and so on there. And at some point, I will get the Turn Alerts caught up and everything else caught up on this channel. That's my review for Raw, guys. Again, C-. Thank you for joining me live chat, Tyler. What are your thoughts on Raw? Make sure your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, to slap a like on the video, subscribe or comment on my channel, follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. And with that, guys, I am checking out. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.